Hey guys, Ash here from C4 Tech along with my co-host Sundar. Welcome to another episode, another very special episode of Ash Answers. So before we go into what's Ash Answers and everything, here are the three winners for the Honor 9 Lite giveaway. So congrats. So guys, this is how it's gonna be every giveaway that we are conducting. We're just gonna announce the winners on the next episode of Ash Answers once the entry date is over. So I find that to be most convenient. Also, a lot of people get to know it instead of people consistently asking us who won. We're just gonna make it the following Ash Answers. So anywho, congrats to all. We still have another giveaway running. That's the Redmi Note 5 Pro. So here is a card to that. If you haven't checked it out, do check it out. And what's Ash Answers?
It's a show where we answer the questions that you ask on Twitter using the hashtag #AshAnswers. Let's get to the questions.
So I just sent Sundar out for a bit, because before we start, I just wanted to have some one-on-one time with you guys. Well, we just crossed 1 million subs and I've been getting a lot of comments from you guys, and I just wanted to say from the bottom of my heart, thanks a lot for your support, thanks a lot for your wishes. Thanks a lot to every one of you who's liked, subscribed, commented, and those 10% of the subscribers, the 100,000 of you who actually turned on notifications. A big thumbs up to you guys. If I could turn on your notifications, I would. I don't know, that just sounded cranky, weird. I don't know, if I could give a thumbs up to everybody, I do. Every time I see the comments, I hit hard thumbs up and all that. So anyway, I just wanted to say a big, huge thank you to every one of you guys, and also a lot of others. I have mentioned everybody who I wanted to thank on Twitter, but then with you guys, I wanted to do it personally here on C4 Tech Ash Answers, because I feel Ash Answers is where the most ardent followers of ours watch. So I wanted to do it on Ash Answers. I don't want to do a special video for it. And in case you didn't know, the Drama Life 2 has been pushed indefinitely. I'm sorry about that. There's still certain things that are in the process of happening, which I hoped would be completed by this point, but they haven't. So that is the big part of part 2. So I don't know, I'm not even going to say 10 million subs or anything. Whenever it gets done, that's when we come up with that video. So anywho, that is pretty much it, and let's now get to the questions. Okay, question number 1. In case you're wondering, that's our new EV. We will talk about the EV a lot more later on. So would you ditch your iPhone 10 for the Galaxy S9 Plus? Rohit Patel asks you. It's addressed to you at C4 Tech, at C4 Sundar. He actually spoiled an embargo part right now just so that we can reshoot this. So that's how Sundar gets his reshoots done. No. And after 3 weeks of happiness, today we're shooting Ash Answers.
So it's your iPhone 10.
You've been using the iPhone 10?
No, I haven't.
What did you take to Barcelona?
Note 8.
And?
That was my primary.
And?
The iPhone 10 just to should be.
You wanted the iPhone 10 and I refused to sign out of it, which is why you had to end up with the Note 8.
No.
Yes.
No.
Do not lie.
No.
I refused to sign out of the iPhone 10.
You didn't.
And
you said just take the iPhone 10.
Yes, you wanted to sign in on the iPhone 10.
No, I didn't.
I know, guys. This is the part where if this was a WWE match, you do this and say it's cancelled. But no. Lie, pants on fire.
Nope.
Okay. Would you ditch it for the S9 Plus?
I honestly don't know. I'd use it for a while before making a decision.
See, he's never gonna say it, guys. I would probably not. Maybe. I would notch. I don't know. I like stuff about both phones. I've not used the S9 Plus extensively or at all yet, officially. So I don't know. I used the clone. That sucked. But honestly though, it is still the same. It's Apple versus Android. It doesn't matter how good a phone Samsung comes out with.
Probably has a better camera because I tested it out during the launch event. Had both phones side by side, shot a couple of pictures, and the S9 seemed to do better under low light. So
let's see, Samsung could come up with as great a phone as possible, but it's still Android versus Apple, and it's the same. Whatever we said last year when you asked us a similar question, the same thing continues. For me personally, though, I would rather use Android. The one thing that was extraordinarily alluring for me with iPhones was 4K at 60 FPS, and now Android has it. So this is me now. What should be the Nokia 7 Plus pricing? I'd have to go with around 25k. 20 to 25 is it should roughly launch at 25 if going by European pricing, where it's like 100 euros cheaper than the OnePlus 5T. So going by that logic, around 25, but given that HMD Global is traditionally priced phones cheaper in India, I'd be happy to see it at around 20, 22 might be a...
Yeah, at 20 or 22, that would be a steal.
Yep. That's the 7 Plus has been priced extremely well.
It's the same pair of cameras with the 8 Sirocco.
And it's got a 660.
Yeah.
Which we've seen on a couple of phones. It's as good as an 820 or an 821. So which will be better for F1.5 versus F2.4 for daylight shots? Is 2.4 going to be better than 1.5 for daylight? So I'm not going to give you any spoilers here. Once we get our hands on the phone, this is something I hope to test. I'd probably include it in the full review or do a dedicated video surrounding it, depending on what you want. Do you want to see a dedicated video on how 1.5 fares against 2.4? Let me know in the comments if you want to see it. Once I get the phone, I'll try to get that done. Okay, the next question is, one fault Sundar did at MWC. He was flawless, he made no mistakes, he was perfect.
Not covering the Vivo Epix phone. I just couldn't find it. Yeah, seriously. I mean, once I heard about the phone, I immediately rushed to the halls, and I mean, I had to be at the Asus event though, so I couldn't really look for it on the same day. And the next day I went to the MWC halls, I couldn't find it. All the Vivo meeting rooms were closed, all the booths were closed. I just couldn't find it. I wish I could have planned something earlier if I had known about the launch.
So he was perfect, guys. You saw all that awesome voiceovers he sent us. It was just amazing.
B-rolls.
Voiceovers. What are your notions and opinions about a bunch of smartphones adopting the iPhone X's notch design similar to similarities at MWC this year?
Not a fan.
See, I honestly, I'm not gonna call this as, yes, it looks Apple-esque, but I'm not gonna hold it against these brands because Apple didn't start the trend of trying to maximize the front panel, as in the entire front of the phone, try to maximize it. In fact, till the iPhone X, Apple has been guilty of wasting the front space on every phone. You know, the phone's like this big. I mean, every single Android manufacturer.
70% screen to body ratio. That's bad.
He's back. He's back. He's back, people. He is freaking back. So he isn't really back unless he cuts me off. So yeah, there you go. So anywho, coming back. So every Android manufacturer, every brand who comes out of the mid-range phone, what's their favorite slide to throw up on screen? With a 6-inch display, our phone is this sized compared to an iPhone 6 Plus, 7 Plus, everything, every single time, because Apple had that insane bezel. So the entire trend of trying to minimize those bezels, well, the bezel thickness is something LG was talking about with the G2 and the G3. So it's Android where the trend of minimizing those bezels started. If you look far back enough, as of LG G2, LG was talking about how slim their bezels were. So Android has been pushing it on all sides. And yeah, Apple did first decide to just push it up to the sides and create a notch, which was, yes, it was a ballsy thing to do. It could have gone either way. Even now it's got mixed receptions, but it's just shown Android manufacturers that people are okay with it, so why not, let's do this. So yes, it is a little bit inspired by Apple, but I'm not really going to hold it against Android manufacturers because if that part is inspired by Apple, then the entirety of Apple trying to occupy the entire face of the front of the phone, that's probably inspired by Android.
And that's a good inspiration. This is not a very good inspiration.
See, the notch is extremely annoying when you're watching videos, I'll give you that. But then again, if they can optimize it and not have too many icons showing, most of the times when you don't have too many icons showing up, I mean, I could live with something like the Essential Phones notch, probably.
The Zenphone 5's got a workaround actually. So if you're watching videos, it'll black out the part above and below the notch.
That works. That works.
And it's still 18:9 because it's 19:9 including the notch. And when the
video part comes, it's 18:9.
It's 18:9.
Cool. So that's something I'd like to see. Something like this. Again, I could probably hold it this way, the side of the black bar, so that it doesn't look really awkward or anything. So yeah, what was I saying? I cut you. Huh?
I cut you off.
You cut me off. Yes. I don't understand why some YouTubers slam Nokia. Nokia 7 Plus and 8 Pro are great phones. Yes, 835 is an old processor, but stock Android of Google will deliver performance greater than other phones. Yes, I understand that the fanboyism is very strong in you. I don't disagree that they aren't great phones, but then again, they aren't. I mean, the Nokia 7 Plus is different. The Nokia 8 Sirocco, it's kind of pushing stuff. First off, the European price is close to
750.
Very, very close to the S9's price. Now, it is HMD's Nokia. So, they don't have the same chains, whatever they had in the past, that doesn't exist anymore. It's a new brand owning the Nokia brand. So you need to remember that yes, that HMD Global consists of ex-Nokia employees and all that, that's totally fine, but they just don't have the same power anymore. So the reason why I have mixed feelings about the Nokia 8 Sirocco is because the pricing is just so out there. I mean, what if LG came out with the Snapdragon 835 phone? I mean, what was the reaction last year when the LG G5 came out with the Snapdragon 821 while every other brand was selling, or rather Samsung was selling 835 or 835 equal Exynos in India? Why should you pay so much for an 821? If that is the reaction for LG, why should it be any different for Nokia? It's the same thing. And again, with LG, they had all those video features plus OIS and all that. Here, there is a lack of OIS. And the kind of fanboyism I read in comments is, it's got Zeiss, so it is OS. And the IP67 part, still kind of mixed, because yes, I'm hearing multiple people saying that they didn't mention it at launch, but the website does not say anything about IP67. That is not a feature you put in a phone and then forget about it. When there's just water repellent nano coating and there is no IP rating, that is still mentioned on websites where brands. So I'm still kind of confused as to what Nokia is up to with regards to that. But I love the build of the phone. It looks fabulous. I mean, that's the conversation we had.
It's compact. It's amazing. Last time I used that would be the S6 Edge.
Fair enough.
Kind of had the same feel.
A lot of us wanted like a really compact phone with 16:9 instead of 18:9, and this probably is the answer to that. So in all those ways, I'm extremely happy. I wish they'd gone with 845 if they wanted to launch at this price. If they've gone 835, I wish they would launch a little cheaper. Again, HMD Global has a great track record of bringing stuff cheaper to India. So if they manage to pull that off, even then I'd expect it to come in at around 40.
Less than 40?
Less than 40 is too much of a hard sell. Okay. But to be realistic, given the build quality and all that, around 40, I'm cool. I think it has, I would definitely give it a shot, but at 50, 55, so close to the S9, that's a price that Sony has decided they struggle at. Okay, LG has decided they struggle at. Moto has have realized they struggle at. Every other brand that is much bigger than HMD Global today, they have all went toe-to-toe with Samsung. And it's not because Samsung phones are that much better. Some years they are, some years they aren't. It's just that Samsung makes so much money that they can spend so much money on marketing. You just can't go toe-to-toe to Samsung unless your name is Apple. And I know pretty well that put a smile on his face. There you go, caught red-handed.
I was laughing, I wasn't smiling.
Alright, so that's that. Do you think Galaxy S9 is just like what iPhone 8 was to the iPhone 7?
To an extent, yes. iPhone 7 and iPhone 8 both had single cameras, and S9, Samsung decided to go with again a single camera on the S9 rather than a dual camera setup.
I know, yeah, the iPhone 8 did bring about a variable aperture, and they did come with that extra face unlock feature, and it did introduce, stereo speakers. Didn't the 7 have stereo speakers already?
7.
It did. So yeah, it's not like it introduced stereo speakers. And it's not like they brought a selfie portrait option, which was new. What else?
Okay, fine. Coming to think of it.
What else are they doing new
S9.
with the S9? The processor, that you can always argue. Of course, Apple gave a new processor. The display is better. Again, you can argue Apple did that too. So I guess that's pretty much it, right? See, again, is it an iterative upgrade? Is it like a evolutionary upgrade? Yes. No questions about it. I was just, pulling his leg. Apple just overdoes the evolutionary upgrade. Basically, with the iPhone 8, they kind of sleepwalked through it because they knew they had the 10.
Yeah.
They had the 10. I mean, anybody who's gonna be like, the iPhone 8, they should have done better. 10. Alright, so that was Apple's mentality. So the S9, Samsung has offered more 960 FPS. Did they bring that with the iPhone 8?
No.
Okay, damn it.
They did bring 1080p at 240 FPS though.
960.
720p.
There you go. You see the fanboy.
No,
Cut.
I mean, if you were talking for Sony, I would be like, yeah, fine, good.
Not really. It's still 960 any day FPS over resolution. When you're going slow-mo, you're already sacrificing resolution. And if you're going to contradict this point every time you punch in a video while you edit, how many times have you sacrificed resolution saying, I just punched in like 50%, no one's going to notice. So when you're doing it, it's something, but then when it's for Apple, it's different. So anywho, so the S9 is an iterative upgrade, not as much as the iPhone 8 was, but then it is. Expected price for the Nokia 8 Sirocco in India, since Nokia 8 was comparatively less priced in India than other markets. We just addressed this question. So see guys, when we pick questions, we don't really know how an answer is gonna go. So sometimes in a fear of this is a good question, we shouldn't miss out on this, we do pick it, but then turns out in an earlier question we answer it. So if you know that question is coming, why do you answer it? If that's your question, he picked it, not me, so I didn't know this question was coming. Which product launched at MWC impressed you both a lot? Milo rocks. Milo the Kingmaker. What impressed you the most?
I'd say the Apex phone, but then I didn't get to see it.
Continue.
Okay, one that I used, one that I got my hands on, that would be the Nokia 8 Sirocco. Like I said, it's got an amazing build. Like seriously, you guys must get your hands on it to experience it. Like you wouldn't know if I just talk about it. Like that's one thing. And I saw a few non-smartphone products as well, like a smart car. That was amazing.
And this was my favorite product at MWC.
Mine.
You were talking about this right now? No, but this was my favorite product. Alright, it wasn't launched at MWC or something, but then, well, this is what Sundar shot everything with. This is a AX700. So when I was in Dubai, I actually saw this at a store and I was like instantly shooting stuff and seeing how it would work for us. I like the stability and stuff. So then I decided to, I still wanted to test it out in detail before I actually paid money and bought it. So I asked Sony and they were like, nice enough to send us a unit to cover MWC with. So Sundar had taken it there. Thankfully, he didn't have to lug around the, our A6300 or something. Yeah. So this is what got you all that footage. If the footage was awesome, it's because of this. If it sucked, it's the guy back there. So yeah. You know what I like about handycams? This. You can swap stuff out front and then go like this. Hey guys, you can't really do that with the Sony mirrorless cameras and that pisses me off. The one negative about Sony mirrorless. Anywho, jokes apart, what did I really like about, stuff that was launched at MWC? It's a toughie. I'd have to say the Zenphone 5Z. That was really surprising because Asus kind of, the Zenphone 2 was awesome. Great price, on point, and you're thinking like, hey, Asus is gonna be like, going toe-to-toe with Xiaomi and OnePlus. And then Zenphone 3 comes and they go like, hey, Samsung, hi. Like, what the hell? And then the Zenphone 4, not even bringing it to India. They're gonna be, see, the Zenphone 3 they played it like, okay, Zenphone 2, they played it like OnePlus. Zenphone 3, they played it like the first gen Zenphones, a little Xiaomi-ish. Second gen Zenphone, the Zenphone 2, played it like Apple. I'm sorry, OnePlus. Third gen Zenphone, played it like Samsung, pricing. Fourth gen Zenphone, played it like Oppo. Okay, R11 doesn't come to India. The selfie version comes to India, F5. So they brought the Zenphone 4 selfie and not the Zenphone 4. Yeah. And 5, they've come full circle and they are back to playing OnePlus. I don't know, it's like every year it's a new Asus. I don't know which one turns up, but this time I was very glad. Yes, the notch, again, everybody has mixed feelings about it. But overall, as much as, even if you really hated the notch, you can't deny the fact that the phone looks super cool. Because it does. And again, for the specs, when Sundar told me these were the specs, because he got it under embargo before the launch because Asus did sponsor our trip, or rather his trip, the one I wanted to go and he wouldn't let me go. So anywho, when he told me all that, I was like, damn, these guys are gonna charge a bomb for it. What are they gonna price it at? 60? Like the Zenphone 4 Deluxe or something, what was it priced at? 60, above the Samsung
Zenphone 3 Deluxe.
Zenphone 3 Deluxe. That was like atrocious, and I was like, that's what they're gonna do. It's another phone that no one will buy. And then comes the launch and you see it's priced cheaper than the OnePlus 5T in Europe. We still don't have Indian pricing, but they did tell him that they want to be super competitive this year. It's like they fell asleep.
It's just a 464 variant.
I was waiting to finish my sentence and drink water.
Right. See, and the lower end variant is the 464 variant. That's gonna be that starts from. It starts from 479 euro, right? So that's the 464 variant. There are two other variants. One is 8128 and the other would be, 6128 and the other would be 8256. So 8128,
6128 and 8256.
6128 should be as expensive as the OnePlus 5T. Let's just...
No, if the 464 is as expensive as the 664 of the OnePlus 5T, I'm cool. See, there's a reason why Sony still uses 4 gigs of RAM on their flagship. Samsung still uses 4 gigs of RAM on the S9. Samsung's RAM management is a different thing, but overall, if the RAM management is good enough, 4 gigs of RAM should be ample. 6, yes, you still have realistic gains from 6, but 8 is freaking overkill today. And even between 4 and 6, you'd hardly notice a difference. Unless and until we are running a speed test. And if you want to see speed tests, let us know in the comments below. What do you want to see? So, anywho, I'd still be happy with 464 because there's expansion options, which OnePlus doesn't provide. OnePlus, if you're listening, micro SD, just throw it in. Forget about everything else. Just throw it in. I love your phones. I really do. Journey of OnePlus. Here's a video. Check that out. But yeah, jokes apart, it more than impressed me, it surprised me. The specs was really impressive. That I kind of expected. I knew about it, but then the pricing, that's something I really didn't expect. How to end the notch trend? Well, technology needs to improve to a point where we don't need the notch. We get under the display selfie cameras and under the display earpiece. I don't know, whatever. That's the only way for it to go away, because for the last few years, brands, like I've been saying in this video, they just want to cover the entire front with the display. So that's where we're heading, my friend. If my friend who stays in US buys me a phone and ships it to me, do I have to worry about customs? Yes, hell yes, 100 times yes. We actually had a conversation with somebody in customs recently, and they have this entire, you know what, I'm not going to get into it. Forget it. I'll talk about it on Periscope sometimes. Forget it. What are your thoughts about the Mi TV budget version that is about to be launched? Can Xiaomi even grab the TV market share after smartphones?
Yeah, most probably if they get the pricing right, which they...
When has Xiaomi gotten pricing wrong?
Exactmi, that's what I said.
Mi 4i. That should have been priced at 4,000. Whatever.
Yeah, when the 55-inch variant, when the Mi TV 4 launched, a lot of people went like, okay, this is not for...
When the Mi TV 4 launched, it's there.
Okay. This is not for us. This is not majority of us want a cheaper variant of the TV. Maybe a 32-inch or a 40-inch TV that's priced lower than...
They could have launched a 42-inch at 40K. it would have still been a good deal. All right, but they launched the 55. So as far as pricing goes, I don't think Xiaomi would have a problem.
Yeah. Now they're about to bring the Mi TV 4A. It's the 32-inch variant and the 40, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, 32 and 40, or 40 or 50, I'm not sure. 32 is, there are a lot of 32-inch TVs priced at 11,000 or 12,000 rupees, but they're all 720p displays.
Okay.
And this one's rumored to be launched at 12,999, and this is full HD.
Okay.
So at that price, this would be
cool. Then I'd remove Sundar's monitor and give him a TV. Because the monitor is more expensive than the TV, and we're not gaming, so we don't care about refresh rates or color accuracy, because anyway he doesn't color grade.
good.
Okay, next time I'll give you versions of Sundar's color correction and mine. Thoughts on Xiaomi launching budget TVs? That is Sundar! 2 questions, back to back, same ones.
Oh.
You can blame Sundar right now.
Okay.
Your tips to Xiaomi on how to stop black marketing. So guys, we had a discussion about this on Twitter. It's a big sore point wherein I've always known that there are some amount of units do get sold via black market channels, and that's the same with every brand. It happens with Samsung, it happens with again with Samsung and Apple and stuff. It's not because there's a lack of units, it's because it's in the time before stuff launches in India. So insane markups. We remember we've paid as much as $1 lakh for an iPhone at times to get you coverage. I mean, and of course because Sundar pressured me into doing it, but Samsung's we paid as high as, like the Note 8 I had to pay 87,000 rupees to get it. It launched at 67. That is the price we pay to bring you content sooner. But that's always happened. So, but right now the problem with Xiaomi is it's too easy to do it. People don't even have to pay money to actually get the phone, right? As in, they just block it, find somebody, make them pay money, and then just do a COD to their address. And I feel the way to fix it is make sure that people can only ship to their registered addresses and not be able to add addresses after, and shorten the time the time that they can have the phone in the cart.
Okay. Yeah.
You can't go credit card only, because in India that doesn't work. COD is still a very, very important thing, and that would hurt Xiaomi's bottom lines a lot. But I would say Xiaomi should probably start looking at making sure that people don't ship to any address they don't have already.
I think they used to limit the amount of time the product's in the cart.
Yeah, but I think the limit right now is much higher than it used to be.
That's right.
So anyway, that's another one. I'm not saying this would eradicate it, but it would at least reassure some of the buyers who've been trying to buy Xiaomi products, only to then, I mean, when you try in a flash sale and you can't buy it, it's gonna piss you off. But then when you start getting WhatsApp messages saying, are you willing to pay 500 bucks more and buy it? That's when you go bonkers, right? It's like, that's when people get annoyed and start going around calling it a fake sale and stuff, you know. And then the pictures that you see, all these listings, that's like 50 phones and all that, and it's like on the website you see limited to one phone a customer. So what is happening here? And this is something I hope Xiaomi would take a little bit more seriously and try to address, because I do understand why they need to do the flash sales. I get that, but then again they need to understand that this is just pissing off their own hardcore buyers, because it's the first few flash sales. When you look at it, it's only the real Mi fans who are buying it at that point. And if they are pissed, then that's you hurting your own bottom line, Xiaomi. I understand, I don't have an answer for you, alright, because the sales go well, you profit out of it, as in Xiaomi does profit out of it. I don't. So it's not my job to come up with a solution here. It's my job to bring Xiaomi the problem, bring the problem to Xiaomi's attention, because as somebody actually asked, how would you fix it? What do you expect Xiaomi to do? I mean, it's not my job to answer that question. As in, if a phone doesn't work, okay, the Note 7's battery explodes. Okay, the battery explodes. Hey guys, so what's Samsung supposed to do about it? I don't know. Fix it in the next phone, recall it. I mean, it's not my job to answer it, but the point is, it is a big problem that Xiaomi should address.
also more serious because a lot of people that I know, they are changing their decision. They are like, okay, fine, I'm not gonna get the Note 5 Pro. See, the base variant of the Honor 7X is 13K, which itself is like 1K less than the Note 5 Pro. And they're definitely not willing to pay $500 more to get the black market, get it from the black market. And they're like, okay, fine, I'll get the 7X, it's alright.
And it's not just 500, depending on demand, it goes much higher.
Yeah.
And here's the fun part, right? There was a guy who was actually tweeting back saying, he's one of those sellers saying, I'm doing a service. People are busy, so I'm doing them a service. How is this any different than surge pricing with Ola and Uber?
I mean, all that he said was fine, but he said it's not illegal.
Yeah, it's perfectly legal, and that
it's illegal.
Ola and Uber, it's like it was too ridiculous. I mean, but then there are people who believe it is. Okay, so anywho, next question. Can the S9 use portrait mode with its single camera? If yes, how good it is? Is it?
With the front-facing camera, it can, and I posted a picture on Instagram. Apparently, you guys didn't like it.
Yeah, nobody liked it. Yeah, so if you click like by mistake, go ahead, double tap that image so that it doesn't get likes. Make sure you remove the like and then leave a comment saying, Ash, we did it for you. So what about the rear camera? Does it support portrait mode?
I don't think so.
You don't think so? You're not sure?
Yeah.
You're sure? Are you not sure?
I'm sure that I'm not sure.
Sure. Okay, so once we get to know more, if we ever get our hands on the Galaxy S9,
I thought we
S9
would
Plus.
get the S9 and I can check it.
Yeah.
And weirdly, one of the units that I used at the launch event, it didn't have 4K 60 FPS option.
Oh my god.
Okay, wait.
So did Sundar break any gadget while out in MWC? Well guys, he sent me footage of the iPhone 10 and it looked like the camera was cracked on it. But he insisted that it's not cracked. So I was like, where's the iPhone 10? He's like, I'll give you later. Have you given me the iPhone 10?
Okay, I will bring it to you.
He went back home once. He came in his Jaguar. He couldn't find place to park his Jaguar. So he was like, hey, I'm not gonna park it out on the road like you do. I'm gonna take it, go put it in my safe parking back in my apartment, and I will come back in my KTM 350cc. And that I don't really care about, I'll park it on the road. It's just a 350cc bike. So his KTM 350 is parked outside right now on the road, on the street, with other crappy vehicles like mine. His Jaguar is sitting at home. Mine, I don't have a Ninja 250.
You do?
Can you go out? Okay, let's take the camera, go out, show people my Ninja 250.
It's too much work.
It's in the service center for the last month. It's gonna be in the service center for the next month and a half. I don't know if I'm gonna get it back. It's got issues, guys. So anywho, that's...
I did drop the S9 Plus a couple of times at the launch event.
Oh, this is the first time we're hearing about it.
You didn't see Ranjit's tweet?
Okay, I thought he said you almost dropped it.
That's why, I mean, I dropped it on the table.
Okay.
It could have fallen down, like, on the floor, but it didn't. Saved it. But the guys there were like, they were extremely cool. They were like, it's okay. See, there was this one trend that I witnessed in MWC. Every brand, whichever brand I went to, whichever booth I went to, not just me. I mean, I just dropped the S9 Plus, but there were people who dropped the Nokias and the Sonys. And the brand people were like, it's alright, it's a Sony. It's alright, it's a Nokia. The build quality is amazing. And they have matte on the floor. And they just post about the build quality. I mean,
fair enough. How much stocks of Coke Zero do you purchase at once, and how much cans do you drink in a day? I don't know, varies guys, depends on how sleep deprived I am, if I'm really tired, and all those of you who are currently running to the comment section and going, don't drink Coke dude, that's bad for your health. Please save yourself the hassle, I'm not gonna listen to you. That's the one vice I have. I'm not saying it's the awesomest thing to do, but that is who I am. I need the caffeine, and that is how I do it. So yeah, usually it's around 2 cans a day, sometimes more, sometimes less. The average would be around 1.5 to 2 cans. Mi 5 getting Android Oreo global beta ROM. Is Xiaomi now focused on updates as Redmi Note 5 in China might come with Android 8.1. Sundar kudos, awesome pics and videos from MWC. Not the pictures. Not the pictures. Do not talk about the pictures. No, hell no. Do you have any clue how many hours I had to work on the thumbnails? Because he couldn't get me one good shot. For the Zenphone 5, he gets me a crazy shot, and in the video there's this awesome background, the backdrop of Zenphone written, and he's holding the phone up to it. I'm like, dude, just snap a picture right there, and no.
See, so basically my videos were so good that you could get thumbnails out of it. Okay, thank you.
The hours, you can ask Shahrukh that. The hours I had to work on thumbnails, and I asked Harris to edit a thumbnail, and Harris is like, I can't do it with these pictures. Let me take stock images from the internet and I'll make it look okay. That was Harris's reply. Harris, by Harris, if you don't know him, you know him as College Harish. In mid-range mobiles,
Can you answer this?
Okay, is Xiaomi focusing more on updates? Who knows? It's Xiaomi. Xiaomi and updates, that's like you never know. But it's nice to see that they are updating it. Again, it's just something that's happened in a couple of months at the same time. Right now, the security patches are out for the Mi A1.
Yeah, and there's a face unlock update for the Mi Mix 2 and the Mi 6.
I said security patches not available for the Mi A1. Oh. Okay, so we don't know. It might be like a blip in the radar, or it might be Xiaomi getting better. I hope it's the latter. I hope they get faster with the Android updates. In mid-range mobiles, we are getting 4000 mAh battery, but why we are getting only around 3000 mAh battery in flagship devices? Is there any difference in battery quality for mid-range and flagship devices? See, in mid-range, we've answered this a million times on our chances. In mid-ranges, brands don't mind the extra heft. In flagships, they want it to be sleek AF. So that's why you see they're trying to get away with as little battery capacity as possible. Because if you have two phones, one's a 3000 mAh battery, another's a 4000 mAh battery, but around 30 grams heavier, brands believe you'll pick the lighter of two. There are news circulating that Redmi Note 5 and Note 5 Pro will be available offline soon, but we have to pay 500 extra. Is it justifiable? Xiaomi's done that all the time. Yeah. They've had variants in the past which were like 500 bucks higher offline, and that's totally justifiable. For a brand to officially do it, they're still paying GST to the government, they're still paying their taxes, and that's fine, because end of the day, Flipkart online, one is like there's no physical store, another there are physical, there are people to be paid, it's all in a warehouse. From me.com, it's being directly shipped to you. It's all in a warehouse, it goes together to Flipkart and gets shipped, but right now it's going to go to a distributor who sells it to a local store, and then there are percentages in between. So 500 bucks extra for the convenience of doing it from home legally, it's fine. The difference between this and people who buy it and sell it by themselves, they are buying stock that you are supposed to get by yourself. This is stock that Xiaomi is getting and sending it to reach an extra audience. Here Xiaomi thinks 3 lakh units are enough, these guys rip off half of it, then we end up without the phones that we are supposed to be able to buy. That's where the difference is. Do Indian tech YouTubers get the same opportunities as US tech YouTubers? Not really.
Right, evidently no.
Yep. Do you see a Galaxy S9 unboxing on the channel? Do you see a Galaxy S9 unboxing on Mr. Who's the Boss or Super Saf? See, I can mention these guys. I know them. They're not going to be pissed at me. On their channels, you do. So that's the difference. But then here's the fun fact. Neither of them are from the US. They're from the UK. But then, Samsung UK is probably the friendliest Samsung ever.
Okay.
Every year they do end up getting units early. Hey Samsung UK, if you're watching, maybe I'll pay customs charges. I'll pay your shipping charges. Hell, I'll pay for the phone. How about sending one my way? Hello. Saf, can you share this with Samsung UK? I don't know, just asking. So Samsung India doesn't happen. I mean, they're saying this year we'd get it early. The focus on the So I don't know what's happening. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we get it early. It's just that the flagships brands don't generally tend to focus on India a lot. If you look at it, any brand you take, I mean, we've had this common annoyance with Xiaomi, wherein very few flagships come to India. And that's not just Xiaomi, every brand does that. You look at a brand like Oppo and Vivo, they've got awesome phones outside of India, nothing ever comes to India. I mean, honestly, OnePlus is the only brand that brings flagships to India around the same time as global. Though with the OnePlus 5, they did have a couple of days difference, but overall they've been on time with Indian launch. Big, huge respect to OnePlus for that. Samsung generally tries to bring everything but the flagships to India fast. So, hey Sundar, what's your sleeping time? What's the time now? Hey, it's a sleeping time. Go to sleep. Bye. Do you think Samsung will blacklist you after the On7 Prime review like Lenovo did to you? Not really. Samsung is super mature. Again, Samsung's PR, see, we're upon Samsung when they deserve it, but then when they deserve respect, we're gonna give that to Samsung as well. Samsung's PR has been the absolutely best with regards to maturity in dealing with stuff like this. Other brands, at least, you know, they tend to give us a call, ask us. Samsung also does that from time to time, like, dude, why? But they are pretty receptive. They don't really come and try to say, that was your unit, we'll send you a different unit, and now don't talk about it for the next 3 months, and we will send you one after 6 months, and then you can post your video. No, nothing like that. Samsung's like pretty good that way. They understand, they can handle the negative criticism. That's one part of it. Secondly, their marketing might is so much that, you know, we could probably go out butt naked and scream everything about weird Samsung phone, and that still wouldn't. They'd still just throw in more marketing money and advertise the crap out of it, and they'd still sell 10 million units. J2 Pro. I rest my case. You guys have amazing. Okay, you wanted to answer that. I would want you to answer that.
I think we just attended the global launch of the S9 Plus, right? We didn't get blacklisted, of course.
Yes, he still was allowed to cover stuff.
Yeah.
You guys have amazing concepts with you, but why are you not bringing these kinds of phones to India? Please bring these kinds of phones to India in the future. Vivo, Apex, Vivo. And then, what do you guys think? And that's the Ashan's part of it.
Yeah.
Nice. So, what do you think?
It's a concept phone.
I just spoke about this. This is a concept, so this, they can be excused, but usually Vivo has amazing phones outside of India. They've got, I mean, their X-Play 3S or something was so damn good, it looked better than the Galaxy S6 Edge at that point of time. On paper as well, I remember it being a stronger phone. I really wish they brought that kind of phones to India instead of focusing on the selfie segment. But it is what it is.
Release of Asus Zenphone 5 in India, your reviews on it.
So Zenphone 5, we did do a hands-on. Here's a card to that. So what do we think about it?
Yeah, as for reviews, we need to get our hands on it first. I mean, as in we did get our hands on it, but then, you know, for using it for a week or two, we need to
a review unit is what we are waiting for.
And we forgot to mention this while talking about the Zenphone 5 earlier. They didn't mention the price. They didn't announce the price for the Zenphone 5. They just did the pricing announcement for this 5Z, which starts at €479.
Yeah, so going by that, we first expected the Zenphone 5 to come around 2022. We'd be happy if it came around 2022. But now, given that the 5Z might come in at 25.
Okay, fine.
The 5 could probably go much lower.
20K.
Less than 20. And maybe, just maybe, this 1 year, we wouldn't recommend the Redmi Note.
Really? That's like 14K here.
If it comes in at 17 or something, I
don't think so, because
if it comes in at 17ish,
it's got the same design, same build. It's got the same pair of cameras as well. All that considered, I don't think it will be the difference between two phones may not be that. I mean, it won't be that.
But then it can't come in at 21. It's gotta come in at 19. So 14 to 19, yeah, it still won't compete with the Redmi Note 5 Pro. I get it. 16 to 19, but still. Fair enough.
That means we finally have a good
phone around 20. Yes, finally. This would be our pick at 20. So those are all the questions that Sundar picked for today's episode of Ash Answers. Leaving for the moment.
Oh.
I just wanted to do something weird. Anyway, if you hated the video, you know what to do. If you did like it, go ahead, give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to C4E Tech yet, go ahead, do that. And if you have subscribed, and you're one of the 90% of people who have subscribed but haven't hit that bell icon, go ahead, hit that right now. And I guess that's it. Thanks a lot for watching. Till next time, this here is Ash.
A lot of our hardcore followers haven't hit the bell icon yet. See, there was this guy who tweeted out, I'm so excited, it's C4E Tech has 9999 something subscribers.
And
I'm so excited.
No bell icon.
Another guy pointed out, dude, please hit the bell icon.
And Sundar hasn't hit the bell icon himself either.
I have.
He lies. He was like, it makes my iPhone look bad.
One app, one page.
Anywho, we're waiting for you.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Till next time, this is Ash. Along with my co-host Sundar, aka Milo,
And we are leaving
aka the rich guy, aka Jag Attitude, aka breaker of phones, aka destroyer of screens, the mother of destruction. I just wanted to go breaker of chains. Anyway, and we are
leaving for the
moment. That was not in sync. I don't like it.
Why do you always watch the viewfinder? And we are leaving for the moment.
It still wasn't in sync.
We are
Leaving for the moment. Have a freaking nice day. And if you're watching it in the night, goodbye and good night. And guys, that is how he threatens the editors. Sirocco, put it. I'm behind you.
Hey.
I will support. Just look how he threatens. And now you guys understand his attitude.